there's these moments that happen right after graduation, immediate moments, not 5 years into the future, 10 years into the future, but graduation happened yesterday. So now what? And Komal, you graduated a
2019.
full year ago,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
2019, you graduated and you majored in health administration and human resources, which I
Yeah,
see a lot of overlap in those two fields. And you had a psych minor as well. So
definitely.
you're coming from an education in three different areas, and you graduated, right? And different graduation, 2019, actual face-to-face graduations and outdoor
Yeah.
celebrations and being
Yeah.
together with people. It's a little different world than the students that graduated this year. But tell us a little bit about those immediate moments right after graduation. What was going on in your mind? What steps were you actively taking? You know, what was the situation right after graduation for you?
Well, first I would say it's kind of like denial. Like, is this really over? Since we were little, we have been in school. We have had that same mentality that we've been in school. There's never been a point in my life where each year goes by and, fall comes around. Let's go. We're getting ready to go back to school. So I would say the first thing is that kind of denial. And then it kind of hits you. Wow, this is it. I graduated. And it's kind of a scare. I need to get my life together. That's what I was thinking. I need to figure out what it is that I want to do. And I really need to take the steps to do that. And so immediately it's a sense of, you know, a little bit of overwhelmment. How am I going to find a job? What if I don't find a job? What if that job is not the right fit for me? So what I did is right after graduation, I immediately started job searching. That stress was on. You feel like you're in some sort of race to find that job immediately. So I was searching and searching, applying, I would say to, 50 jobs a day. It was really stressful.
Wow, that's a high number on the
Yeah,
daily, every day.
every day, just sit down, apply, apply, apply. Sometimes I applied to things that I wasn't even sure if I was interested in. But it came to that point where I was like, what if I don't find a job? It's that stress that you have. And then you compare yourself to other people and you're like, okay, I see everyone getting a job, but I'm still here looking for one. So piece of advice, if you're listening to that, is it's okay if you don't find a job immediately. You realize that not everyone's on the same boat, but there are people who are in that same boat as you. It's okay if you don't have a job right away. You are going to be working most of your life after this. So it's okay, but there's definitely ways to make use of that time. The first one, as I said, is to keep applying, but also make yourself more marketable. That can be by getting certifications, networking, building up your LinkedIn, your resume, whatever that is. So that's also a few things that I did to make myself more
Yeah,
marketable.
and let me interject here because you've raised a lot of interesting visual images for me as you've been talking.
Yeah,
Comparing it, having that feeling of it being like a race, and that not everyone is in the same boat, but there are people who are in your same boat.
yeah,
And it makes me think that it's easy to understand how it can feel like a race, especially as you were mentioning, we as people, the comparison trap, we
yeah,
compare to others, especially we see when we're human and we want people to do well, so we can see their successes and their posts and that they got this job or that job and they're
exactly.
going here, they're going there. And
Yeah,
part of us is like, that's amazing, that person's great, they're a connection of mine, I went to school with them, I care about them. The other part is like, what about me?
exactly.
And it's that's an active thing that we need to work on too, is avoiding the comparison,
Yes.
and to think it's not a race, it's a journey, and we're on different travel paths. So tell us then, so you're applying to 50 jobs a day, you're
Yeah.
kind of comparing yourself here and there, but
Yeah.
actively trying to stay well and healthy.
Yes.
What were some of the things that you were doing, not so much action steps like applying, but what were some of the things that you were doing that were to take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually? What were some of those
Yeah.
activities?
I think after graduation, definitely to take care of my mental health. Because, in college, you're so used to seeing your friends all the time. Not just the weekends, the weekdays too. So much easier for everyone to have that same schedule. You know, after graduation, people are working, people don't have that time during the weekdays. Everyone's kind of, you know, at a different point in their life. So some things I definitely did was, you know, make time for your friends. Pick up a hobby that you like. That's also something that I did. I got into reading after graduation, which is something that I was always interested in, but not as much as before. So pick a hobby that you like and, you know, just take care of yourself. Have time to yourself. If you stress too much, you'll get burned out to the point where you won't be performing like you would want to.
I love that you are reminding everybody that's listening. So guys, any of
Yes.
you hearing this message right now, remember there are steps, and frustration and resentment tend to come first, and then they develop into even stronger and stronger feelings. So my advice too is, like, agreeing with you, Komal, do
Yeah.
something to take care of yourself, but don't wait too long either. And it doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
I'm going away to an all-day spa. It doesn't have to be some major
Yeah.
thing, but don't wait until things are really out of control. The minute you feel a little bit of resentment, the minute you feel some
Mm-hmm.
frustration, take a step back and say, when's the last time I did something good for me? So you're doing some of those things. You're hitting the ground running. It's not like you sat back and were not applying. You're applying, you're trying to
Exactly.
take really good care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
So eventually I did find a job, which I was super happy about. You know, it's one thing that I learned, that when I was applying, first I was looking for something that I was always more passionate about, which was primarily the field of healthcare, nonprofits. I've always had a passion for that. That is what I dreamed of coming out of college. But then, you know, that reality kind of sets in and you learn you have to be a little bit more open-minded. You don't know what opportunities can come along. Just because you're not sure about something, you know, doesn't mean you shouldn't go for it, because one opportunity can lead you to another. And not only that.
Komal, does that mean that you weren't able to find, or were you not finding positions in nonprofit healthcare, or were there positions but you weren't hearing back? What was
Yeah,
going on?
so it was kind of a little bit of both. For some I heard back, and for some I didn't. But then some, I learned that when I was applying, you know, I would make it through some rounds of the interviews, but then it's like, you know, you keep going through the rounds and at the end I might not get it, or things like that, or if it's too far. Or for me, I always really valued the mission of the company. And sometimes when I was so applying to things like 50 jobs a day, I wasn't always reading the mission of the company, just because I was at that fast pace in my head.
Of
So
course, it's very
sometimes,
difficult to
yeah,
focus at that level, even though I agree that it's very important to understand the company culture and what their core values are and who the people in leadership are, to
exactly.
see if that's a good fit for you. But sometimes you just got to apply, and you don't have as much
Exactly.
time to go as deeply into the makeup of the company.
Yes. So from that, you know, if I found a job that I was interested in, you know, if I didn't really not agree, but I wasn't passionate about that mission for the company, then I wasn't too keen on it.
Let's circle back now to the point that you
Yeah.
made earlier about needing to be open to other things, because it sounds like you had your heart set on nonprofit healthcare world
Yeah.
that didn't seem to be moving forward for different reasons.
Yeah.
Staying open to what kind of things were you trying to stay open to, and what happened right after that? Where did you end up working?
And so I actually am a double major, so I am also a major in HR. So then I started looking more into HR roles. And I know myself that, you know, every company has HR. So I figured, you know, it's easier for me to find a role there. It's actually a good combination. And luckily, I did find a job in a healthcare technology company and I worked in HR. So even though HR wasn't my initial, you know, what I wanted, it's still something that I realized over time I did really like it. But I also learned things that I did not like about it and what I did like about it. So within that, I worked there for a while and I really loved it. You learn so much just coming out in the real world, and just having that work experience, you know, the 9 to 5 every day, something that you're not used to before college as much. So even then though, working in HR, I still realize that I don't have it completely figured out what I want to do. Hence why I am now doing my master's currently, which is definitely another step for me, part
Yeah.
of my journey.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You were working full time for almost a year. Because how long did it take you to find the job after graduation?
I would say it took me around 4 months.
Okay, 4 months, which I know as you're going through it feels like an eternity, but I know so many people who look for so much longer.
Yeah.
4 months,
Yeah.
stressful, not ideal, but
Yeah.
also not terrible. So
Yeah.
congratulations, right? You
Thank
got your
you.
full-time job. So then you're still there.
No, so I actually, since I decided to pursue my master's full time, I quit my job just to focus on my master's more. It's an accelerated program. And I'm not sure if HR is still what I want to do. So I'm hoping me pursuing my master's, the fact that I chose this step, I hope it helps me figure out, what direction I want to head into. I
Okay,
do
so
like the field of HR.
you worked in
Mhm.
this company for
I would
about eight
say
months.
10 months.
10
Yeah.
months. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're at the new job for almost a full year,
Yeah.
but you decide you're going to pursue a master's degree
Yes.
in.
In management.
What did you take away from that time period, from that position, that you think you need to tell college students about?
That just because you're in a certain role or when you're looking doesn't mean this isn't your last job, but it is a learning step. And you have to have that willingness to learn and that willingness to explore new opportunity. Even though I worked in the field of HR, I got exposure to marketing, legal, different fields, because I just got to work with so many people. And within that, no matter what exact role you have, you can still learn from others and see what they're doing. And from that, you don't have to be stuck where you are. Never feel that you're stuck in a certain role or a department. It's something part of that learning experience where it helps you figure out what you want to do. So it's never something that I regret. I'm happy I did it. I love the job too, but I'm just not sure that if it's what I want to do in the future. But it still helped me figure out, my next steps in my journey.
Right. Yes, and that is such a healthy mentality for all of us to have, whether
Mhm.
we're a college student or not,
Yeah.
to be able to stay open, not feel like we're stuck, understand that there are options and possibilities, and that wherever we are, there are moments of growth and learning that we can take with us.
Yeah.
So, Komal, if you had to sum up your message for people listening today in one sentence,
Yeah.
what is the bottom line of your message?
Be passionate towards something, but also be open to new opportunities.
Hmm, absolutely. And if you had to put that message on a t-shirt, so you only have a few words,
Yeah.
what do you put on your shirt? What does it say?
Um, be open-minded.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
And you
Yeah,
know, Komal, how important self-care is. We've talked about it today. We talked about
definitely.
it in our leadership class. What is the most recent thing that you did to take really good care of you and have some fun?
I actually, once a week, I do a spa day to myself, a little, not the whole day, but I do face masks
Wow, that's
and
awesome. Once a week.
I put like oil in my hair. I do like a whole self-care thing, a bubble bath once a week. It's my Sunday routine every weekend. And another thing that I've done recently is I know in a time of COVID, people were hoping they could go on vacation this summer. And so I went away to Newport, somewhere COVID safe. So it was nice just to, unwind for a weekend. Don't always go on your phone so much, just unplug.
That's awesome, Komal. So you
Yeah.
do self spa Sundays
Yes, my Sunday
and the little
trip.
the little trip that you took, right?
Yep.
A little getaway
Yep.
for yourself.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, what if you could go back in time for 15 seconds and
Yeah.
talk to your 18-year-old self? What would you say to her?
Especially after college, I would say I wish that I networked more.
Hmm.
Networking is such a big thing that I feel like in college I should have taken advantage of more. I did do a lot of networking, but you realize, especially in a time of COVID, one of the best resources is networking.
What do you think was holding you back from networking in college?
I'll be honest, it was that fear of someone saying no, or it's that fear of just, putting myself out there and just asking for something or asking a question about something. I always had that fear. But then something I learned is you shouldn't have that fear. There's probably so many other people who are wanting to do the same thing, but don't. And we're all humans. Everyone's been in that boat. If you're going to ask someone else, they're also human. They're going to understand. And people want to help you. Everyone's been there. So people want to help you.
I agree with you. Networking is always something that I've enjoyed very much. I'm very open to new experiences and to meeting new people. And that's actually something that I actively seek out.
Yeah.
And I have heard no's in my life, but I have heard way many more yeses than no's. And so was it worth it? Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
Did the rejections feel good? No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They actually were quite disappointing, but that does not outweigh all of the amazing times that people said yes. And I got to do something I would not have done had I not knocked on the door, had I not asked. Let's not have regrets. If you're in college right now and you're listening and you're thinking, I'm scared to network, I'm scared to knock on some doors. It's okay to be scared, but can you imagine that you can be scared and do it anyway? Fabulous. Well, enjoy graduate school.
Oh, thank you. I'm super excited.
Fabulous. And thank you so much, Komal, for taking the time today to share. What'd you think?
It was really nice. I really liked it. Thank you. I really enjoyed doing this.